Guys, I gotta tell you about this Bad Batch season. It was good. It was, holy crap, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Hello, it is I, IARESMART. Welcome to a video. I'm going to be reviewing Bad Batch Season 2, because it's like, it was good, and it was like really good. And I'm like genuinely surprised. Like, sure, not all the episodes were great, but those standout episodes, oh my goodness, there's so many great episodes this season. It was crazy. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not like the hugest Star Wars animation fan. Like, Clone Wars is pretty cool. I'm just not really big into it. I didn't really grow up with it. So it's cool and I like it, but it's not really that big for me. You know, Star Wars Rebels, not really a big fan there either. And Star Wars Resistance is Star Wars Resistance. Anyway, but like the Bad Batch, I wasn't really that big a fan of Season 1. It was okay and I was like, sure, this is decent. But I really didn't see how it was that much different from Clone Wars. But this right here, I love this. This is so good. Well, sure, there were, again, not every episode was great, but I mean, come on, there's like 16 episodes. Not all of them can be amazing. But there was like such highlights in this series. It was amazing. So basically, if you haven't seen it, and you're kind of thinking like, you know, should I renew my Disney Plus subscription? Should I get this? I highly recommend this. If you just like Star Wars, if you like this era, I really find this era interesting of this early Empire. This is like only a year after Revenge of the Sith. We're seeing like the early Stormtroopers and how the Empire is transitioning out of Clone Troopers. We see how the clones are reacting to this. We see all these different clone troopers. There's a ton of clone troopers in this. And I'm not really that big of a clone fan. Personally, I've never really cared. Like, in Clone Wars, like, Five's death, like, that was probably the only time I actually was like, oh, dang, that actually kind of hurts. That actually kind of, like, feel bad for the clones. I never really cared. But this series, especially this season 2, made me actually care about the clone troopers. So, it's just great. We get actually tons of character development for all the characters in this season, which is great. I think a lot of them in Season 1 didn't get that much, especially Echo. Echo got nothing to do in Season 1, which really sucked. But this season gave him a ton to do. Omega is less annoying this season. I feel like that's worth mentioning. But it's really great. I don't know what else to tell you. So just, if you're thinking about it, if you like Season 1, you're definitely going to like Season 2. And if you haven't seen Season 1, consider watching it and then get to this season, which just, it's got so much great stuff. So many surprises, so many emotional moments. It's just good. I don't know how I can tell you about it without getting into each episode. That's what I'm going to do for the rest of this video. But just right now, if you haven't seen it, I would recommend it. If you like Clone Wars, I think you'll definitely like this. It has that same art style, same writers and stuff. It even in Season 2 picks up on a character, not really character, but a story arc that was left behind in the Clone Wars in one of the early seasons. They've done nothing with it until now. So I'll mention that when we get to that episode. But yeah, it's just good. Okay, just watch it. Okay, it's spoiler time now. Okay, so episode 1 and 2 released together as like a part 1, like intro episode pilot. Not really a pilot, whatever. It's a season opener, so it's pretty boring, honestly. Like they go to Dooku's house, which is what is that? Anyway, they go to Dooku's house, which is kind of cool, but like I don't really know. I mean, it's kind of cool to see, but it's like whatever. And then what was it? Episode 2? I mean, it was just together. I mean, there's this character Wilco. It's like a clone. He's kind of cool. He dies, and it's just like, hey, here's this cool clone trooper. By the way, he's dead now. It's like, okay. So that happens a lot. Just that, like, here's a cool clone. He's dead. Okay, so episode 3. This was like immediately like I was like, all right, this season's actually pretty good. Like right off the bat, they give us an amazing episode all about Crosshair, and Commander Cody is there too, which is really cool to see him as like, you know, in the Empire. It's just weird, though, because at the end of the episode, they're just like, oh, yeah, Commander Cody went rogue, and, like, he doesn't show up for the rest of the season. We see rogue clones later, but Cody isn't with them, so I don't know. I really thought they would bring him back at the end of the season. They didn't. That was weird. But regardless, it was a great episode. Crosshair episodes, just they're the best. They're the best in the series. This series is at its best when it isn't about the Bad Batch. Because the Bad Batch are cool, and I still like them, but the best episodes are the ones that aren't about the Bad Batch. That's just how it is. So Crosshair is just... oh, wow. Beautiful character. They did him so well in this season. Because Season 1, he was cool. I really enjoyed what they were doing as character. Having one member join in the Empire versus all the other ones fighting against the Empire. It was kind of cool, but it just seemed pretty cliched to me. But this season, where we see him slowly turn against the Empire, oh my gosh. As an Empire apologist myself, like, it's amazed me, alright? Like I'm pro Empire, but this season made me like... the Empire is really not that great. It's kind of hard to defend the Empire when they're this bad. Like, oof, the Empire you just hate in this series. So that's really good. Like, the villains of Star Wars should be villains. You should hate them. They shouldn't be goofy. They shouldn't be silly. You should hate the villains. That's just my point of view. So, honestly, props to them. Thank you for making me evil and making me a bad guy. I could not thank you enough. I love being part of the Empire and being the bad guys. Support our troops, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so episode 4. I don't care what anyone says, I loved this episode. It was so cool. I don't know why. It's just, I mean, Star Wars can get very formulaic, but to have, like, it's a racing episode, which kind of throws back to pod racing, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but it was still cool. Like, I can still appreciate it. And it was just cool to have a tech episode that focused on Tech as a character and really just focused on him. He was one of my favorite members besides Crosshair in season 1. But this season, he became my favorite member, even before the finale. But like, yeah, Tech's just cool. I don't know what it is. He's like the coolest member. He's all like smart and stuff. I mean, that's like partly my name is IARESMART. But like, I don't know. He's just a cool character, and I really like him. So to have a whole episode where he like races around and wins a race, and everyone's cheering for him, and he's like, oh, what the heck? It's just cool. I don't know what it is. And we also get some development or foreshadowing that Sid is going to betray them later on. So that was a cool setup there. And it was just a cool episode. I don't know what to say. Episode 5, another one I don't think was that popular. I personally really found it interesting. It wasn't my favorite. It was an okay episode. But it had some cool stuff. Like, when they're going around this temple, it's very, very Indiana Jones inspired. And as a big Indiana Jones fan myself, I really liked it. Even, like, the music at one part kind of sounded like Indiana Jones. And I was like, ooh, that's good. The music in this season was amazing. I'm just going to mention that now. Kevin Kiner, I don't know how you say his name. He's like the dude who did the music. It's so flippin' good. Like, holy crap. The music was really good in this season. I don't know if he did season 1, but especially this season, I noticed the music was amazing. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it kind of was Indiana Jones inspired, so I liked that. They were treasure hunting and whatnot. Then there's this big mech thing that was like, I'm pretty sure it was Zepho from Jedi Fallen Order. If you play that, you know what I mean. So that's cool, a reference to that game. That's actually just cool to see. Okay, episode 6, yeah, I didn't really like this one. Look, I just don't like Wookiees, alright? I don't like them. They're like big Ewoks, and I don't like Wookiees. I've just never been a fan. Gungi, it's kind of cool to see him. He was a character from Clone Wars, so it's kind of cool that he's back, but it's like, well, I don't really care. Another Jedi that survived Order 66, how many are we adding up now? It's like, because like in the original trilogy, it was like, oh, there is just, Yoda and Obi-Wan, and then after Luke, he's the last Jedi. But it's like, no, actually, there's all these other Jedi that survive, and there's like Ahsoka, she's not really a Jedi, but like, there's all these other Jedi that survive Order 66. It's like, guys, what the heck? I don't know. So that kind of bugs me, but it's whatever. It was still a decent episode, I'll give it that. Episode 7, oh man, this was a great one. This was really good. So again, it was all about like the Imperial Senate, the clones, and so we have Senator Chuchi, who's another character from Clone Wars that I really liked. I find it cool that she was back, cause she's kind of hot. I mean, okay, look, guys, I got a thing for blue aliens. I don't know what it is. Okay, but seriously though, cool character, and I like that she was trying to advocate for the clones in the Senate, going against Rampart. They were button heads, and that was just a cool thing. I love that political thriller stuff, and then they got the assassin they're trying to get away from. Very, very cool episode. Again, way more mature than just like, because some of the stuff in season 1 seemed almost a bit more childish. I don't know, I feel like Wrecker's always been like just a big, I'm big, and just kind of like a dumb character. But again, even in this season, he got some great character development. So, I don't know, I think they did a lot of improvement in this season. Episode 8, dude, what can I even say? It was so good. Oh my goodness, dude. Okay, so, I think you guys know I'm a big fan of Palpatine. Definitely like one of my top like 3 favorite Star Wars characters. Amazing, love this guy. So when he showed up, I was losing it. I was so excited to see him. But seriously, like, this whole episode, it was released on the same day as episode 7, so I got to watch both of them back to back. But, like, dude, this episode, so cool. And I don't even know how to describe it. So much stuff, like, it's crazy. The Bad Batch go on this whole mission. They're like, all right, we're going to get this thing. We're going to expose Rampart, and then we're going to show everyone. And then the Empire's their plans are going to be halted. We're going to save all the clones. It's going to be great. And then they reveal in the Senate. I'm like, holy crap, no way. I thought something would happen. They would fail, and the Empire would win, because the Empire obviously like has to win at this period of time. And then Palpatine comes out and says, arrest Rampart, and guess what? We need this thing to happen. We need this bill to go through, because we can't trust the clones. Palpatine took the situation and twisted it, and in like 2 minutes, It was so good. I can't even get over this. It's like top, like that's in my like new favorite Star Wars moments. It was so good. Absolutely, I was losing it that entire scene. I was going crazy. It was so good. Episode 9, it was actually still pretty good. I mean, like the last episode was so great, but this one still had some great moments. The entire conflict of the episode could have been avoided if they just put locks on the Marauder. I don't know why they can't do that. Like, my car has a door lock. I just go boop boop, and it locks the door. I don't know why the Marauder doesn't have that, but whatever, sure. So some random kid can just steal it. But regardless, this episode had a really great moment between Tech and Omega, because Omega was still sad about Echo leaving last episode. I didn't mention that. That was actually quite sad. I didn't like cry over it, but it got me pretty emotional. Like, oh dang, Echo's leaving. That's so sad. And then just in this episode to see like there's only 4 of them left. It's just Wrecker, Tech, and Hunter, and Omega. And then it oh geez, so many names. Okay, so Omega and Tech are in this cave, and they're talking about like, why aren't you sad that Echo's gone? And Tech is just like, just because I process information differently doesn't mean I don't feel, or something like that. It was such a good line. I was just like, dude, this moment is just, it's great. It's amazing. This show, again, it just has so many great moments. So, it's really great.
I may process moments and thoughts differently, but it does not mean that I feel any less than you.
Also, screw Sid. All my homies hate Sid. Oh yeah, episode 10. I honestly kind of forgot about this one. There was like kids in like a mine or something. I don't know, it was pretty boring. I didn't really like this one, but it was okay, I guess. Episode 11. Again, just such a cool episode. Like, they bring back the Zillo Beast. Again, it's just cool. The episode actually had like kind of scary elements. Like kind of scary. Like there's at the beginning, and just some other stuff like that. It's lurking around the corner and this big monster. And then we see it's the Zillo Beast from the Clone Wars, which is like, holy crap. Because, like, Palpatine, like, at the end of that whole arc, it was, like, 3 episodes or whatever in the Clone Wars. Season 2 or 3, I don't really remember. But anyway, Palpatine's just like, oh, I want to keep this, and I want to, you know, experiment on it, and I want to make a clone of it. And it's like, oh, I wonder where they'll go with that. And here we are. They're making the big Zillo Beast clone. I'm like, oh, that's actually kind of cool. So, cool that they brought that back. And just, again, it was just a cool episode. I feel like, did something else happen in this episode? Oh yeah, the secret, like, facility where this Imperial scientists are working on stuff, that's just cool. That's cool to see. So, really interesting to figure out, like, are they going to clone Palpatine? Is that what they're going for? Are they, like, I think that's what they're trying to lead up to. It could be something else, though. Could tie into, like, Grogu or something else. I don't know. It's the same thing the Mandalorian's trying to do, I think, where they're trying to set up Palpatine cloning. I could be wrong, though, and it might be something totally different, but we'll just see where it goes. Episode 12. Man, again, where do I even begin? It was... oh my goodness. This might be the best episode out of the whole season, and maybe even out of the whole series. It was incredible. I can't even get over it. Like, the finale was pretty good too, but like, this was just the best, man. Like, again, Crosshair episode, you know it's gonna be good, but like, oh my goodness. I don't usually care about some random, like, clone trooper, like, oh, you got a weird name like Mayday, whatever, I don't care. But this guy, and Crosshair, he got like so close with him, and then he died, and then Crosshair's like, you could have saved him, and the officer's just like, don't care, plus ratio, you're expendable, got him, and it's just like, oh, you suck, man, I hate you. I don't usually hate Imperial officers, usually I'm like, yeah, I like that guy, he's cool, literally me, but like, I hate that guy. I cannot stand that Imperial officer, I don't even remember his name, he was so stupid, I hate that guy, all my homies hate that guy, but seriously though, like, oh my goodness, just Crosshair, he goes from hating Regs, when we first see him in the Clone Wars, he's all like, stupid Regs, we're way better than them, to actually caring about one, and, you know, like, carrying him all the way through the snow, and bringing him back to base just for him to die, and then he betrays his officer just because it's so good. The character development, man, that's what it's all about. It's so good. Oh my goodness. Like, again, I'm an Empire defender, but, like, I was right there with Crosshair. I was cheering him on. I was like, yeah, man, that's what it's all about. You deserve that. You should have done that. I'm 100% with you, man. You should have shot that guy, and you did. It was great. Oh my goodness. I'm not a rebel, but like, I'm totally with him there. That was great. Okay, episode 13, Pabu. Some people might call this one filler. I mean, I don't really think it could be. I don't really think it is, because, I mean, like, Tech meets Fee, so Tech, you know, they're kind of setting up that there might be a relationship with them. Well, that's not really going to happen now, but they kind of had, you know, a thing going, and, you know, Wrecker finally got to eat a full meal. That's cool. Omega got to make a new friend, and overall it was just cool. It's setting up, like, the Bad Batch want to stay here. and make their life here, which is cool, I guess. It just felt kind of cliched though, and honestly, like I was hoping there would be some sort of cool twist in this episode, like we'd find out that I don't know the island was full of cannibals or something, and they were all gonna like try and eat the Bad Batch or something. I thought that'd be kind of cool. Like it looks like it's a really nice town, but it's actually like really evil. But no, it's just a bunch of people who live on an island, and they just have, wow, our lives are so nice. We all just live, and we are all so happy together. Yay! It was very cliched, and I was just like, really? That's it? That's just boring. I thought there'd be some cool twists, but there was nothing, so I was disappointed. Okay, so episode 14. This one was a lot of just setup for the finale, I think. But we got to see the Rogue clones. That was cool. They're going on missions and stuff. And Echo and, Omega, they reunite. That was pretty sick. Omega learns to fly the Marauder around. Again, that was pretty cool. Tech's giving her driving lessons. But yeah, it was pretty cool. And, we get to see what the ball thing does. Because, like, there's this big floaty ball interrogation droid in A New Hope. And it just, like, it closes the door. We don't really get to see what it does to Leia. But in this show, we actually get to see. It's like injected into your arm or I think it was his neck. And it, like, crosses, like, all like, tortured and stuff. It's crazy. Also, saw this thing. So the previous episode has a warning on it on Disney Plus, like, warning, this depicts tsunamis, because I don't know why, like, why do we need to warn people, like, oh, there's a, animated tsunami, that's scary or something? I don't know. But we're not going to put a warning for all the murder and torture and all that other stuff in this episode? Like, what the heck, Disney? I don't know. Okay, so episode 15, this is, like, part 1 of the finale. Biggest thing for me was Krennic. Like, Krennic is, like, another one of my favorite characters. I love Rogue One, and Krennic is just so cool. Just such a good villain. I love this guy. He's so cool. He's the guy behind the Death Star. And I was thinking, like, oh, there's this guy in a white uniform. I wonder who he is. They didn't explicitly say. But then, when they were like, Tarkin, again, another character I really like, because he's from A New Hope. Tarkin is just like, Director Krennic, what have you have to show us with Project Stardust? And I'm like, oh, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's Krennic. It's the guy. And there was actually Ben Mendelsohn. I looked in the credits. There's actually Ben Mendelsohn doing the voice, which is sick.
Commander Krennic, enlighten us to the status of Project Stardust.
Yes, Governor Tarkin.
And then they played like a little bit of the theme from Rogue One. Amazing, dude, perfect. I know I say that cheap cameos are not the best, but like, I'm a sucker for them. Okay, it's like, ooh, character I like. Thank you for dangling character I like in front of my face. It's cheap, it's bad. I shouldn't like it, but I do. I hate you, Dave Filoni, for giving me things I like. Stop doing it. Also, Saw Gerrera. Again, Saw Gerrera just shows up and is like, I'm going to blow up this base and just cause problems for you guys. I hate Saw Gerrera. He's the worst. Actually, I think he's a pretty cool character because he shows a different side of the Rebel Alliance and shows that the Rebel Alliance isn't just all like, oh, we're all good guys who want to save the galaxy. It's like, I want to kill people and make the Empire upset. It's like, oh, geez, man. So, I actually do really like Saw Gerrera as a character, but I hate him because it's his fault of the thing that happens in the finale next part. So episode 16, they killed Tech. Okay, but seriously though, that like I actually did. I'm recording this on Wednesday. I watched the episode earlier today, and actually I watched it back before recording this video, and both times I cried, like just a little bit, like a little tear. I don't cry like ever, so. This hit me hard. It was very emotional. They definitely played it out, and I was like, "Come on, no!" And then, it just hurt, man. It hurts. He's such a cool character, and they killed him. No, like it's just I can't describe it. I seriously though, like I genuinely was like really upset, and I still am that they killed him. Like I get why, like I don't really get why they had to kill him, honestly, but like I've just accepted it. They killed Tech. It's whatever, it has to happen because, I don't know, someone had to die in the finale, but it's just like, come on, man. I saw someone compare this episode to Empire Strikes Back, because, I mean, like at the end of Empire Strikes Back, all the heroes are, like, at their lowest. Luke lost his hand, he just found about, his father, Han's captured in Carbonite. Everything just goes wrong at the end of Empire to set up Return of the Jedi. So I think that's what they're kind of doing here. This is the Empire Strikes Back of the Bad Batch, where everything just goes really bad so that next season can happen, which is going to happen, I don't know when. They're setting up like Omega beats her sister because apparently we need another clone. That's a girl. I guess don't know why that happened, but okay. I mean it was kind of obvious when I'm looking back at it. I'm like, yeah, they do have the same voice, don't they? It sounds very very similar. They both have the same accent. I don't know if it's the same voice actress. I forgot to look at that, but it sounds very similar. So yeah, it's just weird. Like, Omega has a sister, I guess. So, sure. So yeah, season 3, I gotta wait like 1 or 2 years until it comes out. But I'm honestly pretty excited. Like, more so than I am for the next Mandalorian episode. So, I don't really know. Bad Batch. It was just good. I can't describe it. Anyway, that's the end of the video. So, bye.